Hey guys, welcome to our new little adventure of a Cup of Fitness podcast. My name is Eva,
And I'm Julio.
my husband. And we decided that we're going to go ahead and start a podcast that we had been trying to start now for
Forever. It's
since
been a while.
last year. We wanted to go ahead and start it, and things were not aligning to start, and we decided today we're just going to start now.
Yep. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. You guys like it. We definitely appreciate feedback, any type of comments, et cetera.
Yeah, and we're just getting started. So our podcast is going to be about fitness, health, and to be honest, anything we feel like talking about as well. We don't want to keep it very limited to one topic, just because it's always nice to listen to different things besides just health and fitness.
Yeah, well, I think also for us, it's really hard to create content. So we don't want to stress about this. We just want to make it sure that it sounds good, it looks good, and hopefully we're providing good value.
Yeah. So what is our first podcast going to be about today?
So the first thing we're going to talk about, and I'm actually super interested because we haven't had this conversation as a couple. So we're going to talk about gym workouts versus home workouts.
Ooh.
And so I want to know what your opinion is on gym workouts versus home workouts.
Do you want to know now?
Yeah, and I guess I should preface this. So in when was it? 2022, end of 2021.
We got married at 2021.
Yeah.
So the beginning of 2022.
Eva had never been to the gym.
Well, no, let's start right. So I've been to like a gym, and I've also worked out like at a studio.
At a studio, but
Yeah.
it's not the same as a gym.
Well, I've been to Planet Fitness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like for 2 days I went.
Okay.
Yeah. And before that, so maybe that's backtracking way too much. When I was younger, my mom and I got this brochure about like free 3 days to 24-hour fitness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we actually went, but we didn't sign up, and we didn't even do the 3 days because we were a little scared. So yeah, I mean, officially, my first time being in a gym setting and working out at a gym, yes, it was consistently was in 2022. Okay. January 2022.
January 2022.
Yeah.
I had to convince you. We actually signed up together. And so I think my first question is, what was your hesitation? So it took, because I feel like it took at least three weeks to a month to convince you to even join the gym.
Yes.
If not more.
Yes.
So what were the hesitations from you not going to the gym?
So I was definitely worried. I was very worried about being judged. I didn't want to feel uncomfortable. Like I've always worked out from home. I liked working out from home. I love just being me. This is my little me time. I didn't have to worry about anything else. I could wear shorts. I could wear whatever I wanted. I didn't have to worry about it. And I think, I used to work at a place where it was an all women's facility, and I was just worried about being around men too. So it was like a lot of things combined. And I also don't do well being around a lot of people. Like I was just so scared. Yeah, those were kind of my things. And it's funny because I was like, people are going to make fun of me, even though like I've been doing fitness for such a long time. But there was this process that was like, I'm not going to know how to work out.
At a gym.
At a gym. Honestly, when I went to Planet Fitness, I remember I like froze. I didn't know what to do. And then I was like, I didn't even know. I was like, I had to snap out of it. And I was like, I know how to use dumbbells. Why am I like so worried, and I went to the dumbbell section, and I remember there was like guys there, and I felt a little uncomfortable. Like it just felt like uncomfortable in that setting because you just feel like you don't belong there a little bit because there's like more men than women around.
At Planet Fitness though,
There, well, I only
I'm
went
not sure
twice.
if Planet Fitness is very serious.
Well, I don't. I mean, it depends on the people. I think, right? There's
I think it
people.
does depend. I
Yeah,
think it does depend.
yeah.
So those were your hesitations. So let's talk about now. What would be your preference? Would it be gym or home workouts?
Oh, I love the gym now. Like, I wish I would have gone to gym like a long time ago. Like, I definitely noticed like the biggest difference between gym and home workouts. Now, I do believe as much as I would love everybody to go to the gym, everybody has a starting point somewhere, right? But yeah, definitely the gym is where you're gonna get the best results.
But you did like home workouts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But I had a machine. That's what
yeah,
another thing. So before we got married, I did have a squat rack. I had a barbell. I had a pull down. I had
you had a good setup.
weights. I had a good setup. So it's not like I was really limited to just dumbbells. The problem is I didn't really have the space for it. I was very limited to the space, but I had the weights, right?
Mhm.
And I feel like that's how my home workouts progressed.
So it progressively got better, but I mean, you can't completely discount home workouts these days, right?
No, no.
No, there's still a good option if
Yeah, if you're starting, I always say, like, I think, you know, if you just want to start and you feel like you can't make it to a gym, start with home workouts. That way there's less of an excuse to get there,
Mhm.
and then work yourself up into going to a gym.
Mm.
But just know that with home workouts, unfortunately, you are going to hit a stop. You could only go up so much on weight if you're not willing to invest in more equipment.
So in a perfect world, let's say for example, you can have anything you want, either a home gym with anything you want or a gym with anything you want. Which one would you go for?
Oh, geez, this one's hard.
Oh yeah, no, I made it hard on purpose. So which one would you prefer? Would you prefer
So
a gym or would you
I
prefer?
personally, I think we had talked about this, how I would like to have my personal little gym.
Yeah, yeah.
But now working from home, I realized that I like to be able to leave the house and go to gym.
Mhm.
I also like being at a place where now I get to see people who are also working on their goals, and it's pretty inspiring to see that. Like it's less, I don't have to talk to them, which is also the great thing. You don't need to talk to them. You
Yeah.
have your headphones on, but it's inspiring to see other people doing something, right, to improve like their fitness, getting stronger, trying to look a certain way. It's just cool to see it. So I do like being around people. So honestly, I can't answer that question right
You
now.
can't answer it? I thought you were gonna
No,
lean more towards
no.
one. Okay.
Towards what?
I thought you were gonna lean more towards one. It sounded like you were leaning more towards the gym than the home gym.
Yeah, I mean, I'm torn to be honest. I would have to see like if I have a full gym setup, then I would have to compare. I know I
Yeah,
can't compare.
yeah, it would be difficult.
Yeah, because the one thing about the gym, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little frustrating when it's busy and you gotta wait for like the
Yeah.
machines and stuff like that. But it's like the one little thing. You just gotta deal with it sometimes, you know?
Yeah, it can be frustrating at a gym, especially waiting on machines. I mean, I get frustrated at times, but
Yeah.
it's pretty good. Yeah, I think during our situation, that's why I pushed you so much. I was like, we live we live on, the third floor. We can't have weights hitting the floor. We don't have any space for them. We sold all your gym equipment. And investing in equipment is actually very expensive. So it's not just, having all the dumbbells, it's having all the barbell equipment, and then it's having a squat rack. And then if you want other type of racks or machines, it gets very expensive.
Yeah.
As opposed to, oh, I have a gym that has all sorts of things and I can just figure it out when I'm there and be able to, have a ton of weight as well, right?
Mhm.
Different type of plates, different type of dumbbells. It just made so much more sense to us.
Yeah. Yes. So I think maybe we should talk about what happened when we first joined the gym.
What
Um,
happened?
so yeah, so we were what, New Year's resolution people who joined the gym,
No, I don't
right?
think we were. No, no.
We joined in January 2022. That's
We
usually New Year's
we were, but it
resolution.
wasn't a New Year
Yeah, but
resolution.
still,
Oh, okay,
that's what
okay,
you would
okay.
consider. Um, so I think what you're not really saying is, okay, so he convinced me to go to the gym. And I remember the first thing I said was, okay, but can you work out with me until I start to feel comfortable to
Yeah,
go by myself? And you did the first day.
yeah.
Do you remember what you did on the second
Oh, I
day?
can't remember. So the first day I did what no one should do, and I pushed myself too hard. I was incredibly sore. I didn't want to go the second day.
Yeah, but we did. Okay, so we didn't go. So we were only doing 3 days
Okay,
at that
yeah.
time. You obviously don't remember,
I
but
don't remember.
it's a very, I think this conversation is very important for people to hear. So on the second day, I believe it was the second day, we went and you were like, all right, I'm gonna go do my thing, you go do your thing.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And you went to like the chest press, and I was like in shock. Like I was like, he said he was going to work out with me until I got comfortable, and just decided to leave me alone
But
in this place.
you didn't say that I had to be with you all the time. You said just go with me to the gym. As long as I'm in there.
No, I said you have to work out with me until I get comfortable. So then, like, I'm like, okay, I got this. I don't need you, right? And I go to like the other side of the gym, and then I was like, oh my God, what do I do? Because at that time, I didn't even have a plan I was following, even with me knowing how to work out.
That's true.
I
Yeah.
just didn't have a plan. I was just like, today I'm gonna do upper body, tomorrow I'm gonna do lower body, or I'm gonna do full body days, whatever, right? So I didn't have a plan going there. So I remember I got on a machine. I was like, I'll do this one. I forgot what machine it was. It was like some machine. I just got on it because I didn't want to look lost. Like I was just like, I don't want people to look at me and be like, she doesn't know what she's doing. So I go and I'm doing something on the machine. I'm pretty sure it was like upper body. And I think like on the second set, third set, like I started to feel really anxious, like really anxious, that I went to where you were at, and I was like, I'm gonna go home. Like I can't.
Yeah, I think you left early. That
Yeah.
I
And
remember.
and this is a little hard to admit, but like I almost cried. And I think I got here and I cried. And the reason I cried was not so much like the anxiety part of like being uncomfortable at the gym. I was just so disappointed in myself that I felt uncomfortable. And like I felt like I didn't belong there. And I just felt so new at something, right? Because like I never really been to a gym and working out with people. And I remember like I really struggled. Like I was just like, you came home and you were like, what happened? And then we talked about it. And I think, and then from there we worked out a little bit more consistently with each other. Which I didn't like it because it was like I had to wait for you to come home from work, and
Yeah,
we
you
would
did.
go at the busiest time,
But it was a
right?
good thing too, because I remember the first time you went alone, it was more like, I don't want to deal with, I don't want to wait for you anymore. And you just went. And ever since then, you were pretty dialed in.
Yeah, so I actually have a nice thing about Instagram. It's like it saves your stories, and sometimes it gives you like a memory. And I came across it the other day, and I talked about how I went and did this one scary thing I said I was gonna go do, and I went to the gym. Like I said, today I'm gonna go to the gym by myself. I don't care. I'm just gonna go. I don't care. And I remember I wore like the biggest t-shirt. I have this t-shirt of The Walking Dead.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Well, probably like a lot of people were staring at me because
Yeah.
of the t-shirt. Probably not the best thing to do. I wore these like leggings, and I think I wore a hat. I was just like, all right, I'm gonna like hide as much as possible and go. And I remember I went, and I honestly was freaking out at that moment. Like I felt really uncomfortable, but I kept telling myself like, it's okay. I'm pretty sure all these people at one point felt uncomfortable. And I've seen so many people, some especially women, talk about how uncomfortable it is at first, but you just have to keep doing it. And I just told myself, like, if I get here today, I do the workout, I already did a great job. One day I'm going to feel very comfortable, like I belong here. And that was pretty cool. Like I really liked it. I think in the story I talked about how proud I was. I went to the gym
Yeah, I
by
remember that.
myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you're the one that just leaves me.
Yeah.
We're in there and all of a sudden you go and disappear the whole time. I don't even know where you're at half the time. And then you pop out and you go, hey, and then you disappear. And you pop back in, oh my God. I'm like, where the heck have you been all day? I don't know where'd you come from.
Yeah.
Or I see her like on the edge, like,
Yeah.
are you doing your workouts?
You don't even, I think I see you, but you don't even notice.
No,
where
I
I'm
don't
at half
notice. I
the
don't
time.
notice. So, well, and so then maybe we should go into tips. So like, what type of tips would you recommend? So I guess I'll just start with the tips that I gave you at the beginning,
Yeah.
because it's just, everyone thinks, oh, people are staring at me. If you don't notice, when you walk into the gym, you have mirrors everywhere. And so you think
I
people are,
love the mirrors.
well, and the worst part is that you think people are staring at you in the mirror. They're just staring at themselves. They're literally just flexing and stuff like that. And there you are, you're like, oh my God, this guy's looking at me. It's like, no. So like the first thing is like, you need to like completely zone out, make sure you have your earphones, plug in some earphones, have a hat if you're not comfortable. And then number two, have a good plan. So make sure you know what machines you're going to be using, where you're going to be going. Because honestly, like I listen and we're different. You like to listen to music. I'm listening to podcasts. I'm listening to books. I'm listening to all sorts of things. And I just completely zone out and I'm just there. I'm like, I got to finish this. I'm going to figure this out. So what are your tips? What would you recommend?
So I definitely would recommend, like, when you first go is, I would say most gyms have a cardio session, like the treadmills.
Cardio machines.
Yeah. I would definitely start with the treadmill. I would not start with the Stairmaster or if you want to try the elliptical, but the Stairmaster, I would definitely stay away from that thing. It's scary looking, and for you to start, it's kind of difficult
At the
to be honest.
beginning.
At the beginning,
I think
yeah.
later on it's okay.
Yeah,
At the
but at the
beginning,
beginning, I
you
feel
wanna-
like you want to do something simple. So I would say the treadmill. And what I'd recommend is, just tell yourself, I'm going to go to a gym, I'm going to go do the treadmill, and I'm going to be there for like 10, 20 minutes, not that long, because most likely like you're a little uncomfortable. And just think of yourself like, I'm only going to absorb at this moment. Is that the correct
absorb, or you could say you could just kind of gather your surroundings, right?
Yeah,
Kind of
like
look around, see how the environment is, see how people are.
yeah. And then I think after you kind of get the hang of that, so you want to make a routine of getting to the gym, right? Like pushing yourself to get there. I always say that, like the moment you step a foot in, you already won, because one of the hardest thing is, getting to the gym. You could procrastinate all day and you're like, I have to go to the gym. I don't know if I should, I shouldn't. But the moment you get there, you already won. So then you would go on the treadmill. After the treadmill, then I would suggest like, kind of walking a little bit after the treadmill, kind of like not use anything. I would just say walk and kind of see like, okay, around this area, there's dumbbells, around this area, there's this, around that area, there's this, right? And for most of my clients who have actually gone from home workouts to gym workouts, they usually start with a training program with dumbbells only.
Okay.
And when they go into the gym, as much as they want to get super excited and they want to think about the new machines and all the nice little things to use, I always tell them it's very overwhelming. So I say, you already know this training program. We're going to follow that training program, because now what you need to do is get used to you being around people when you're working out. And the other thing I would suggest is, get yourself a pair of dumbbells go to, there's always like a little empty corner or something.
Yeah, the gym.
Yeah, and work out there. The goal is for you to just get comfortable with being around people while you're working out. And do not look at people. Like he said, they're not looking at you. They're just honestly like looking at themselves at the mirror. But I feel like a lot of times when you're so worried that people are looking at you, you're looking at them and then you grab their attention. So I always say just like um when I first started, I really made no eye contact.
Okay.
I didn't even smile. I think now I kind of smile more at people because it's like it seems kind of rude. But like at first I made like no eye contact. I wouldn't smile or anything like that. I just got to it. I would wear a hat. Definitely having a hat helps. So I know it's like a lot of tips in one, but those kind of how they progress.
Yeah, yeah, it's a progressive process. It's not like you're gonna go into the gym and you're gonna be super comfortable and going. Some people, I mean, there might be people that are like that, but in the majority of the time, it's like, hey, you have to be comfortable in the environment. You have to see what's actually in the gym as well, because not
Yeah.
all, every gym is completely different. Some of them are smaller, some of them are bigger. You don't know what it is. I am of the opinion that you should also be a little nosy, right? Which is like, hey, I'm curious, what's around that corner? Because sometimes, you're scared and you're like, oh, it's a sauna. I didn't even know we had a sauna, right?
Yeah.
Another really good tip is if you want kind of if you want to kind of see the facility a little bit more, some of these gyms actually have, if you go up to the front desk, you can actually say, hey, can you show me around the gym? Like, what do we actually have? And they'll actually go around and show you. Especially like 24-hour fitness. I'm pretty sure like Planet Fitness, some of these other places, they definitely do that for you. So that's also also a good place for you to kind of know the gym.
Yeah, yeah, that definitely does help. Asking for, like I'm trying to bring the light down. It's a little bit too bright.
It's too
Sorry.
bright. Yeah, it's because the light just went down.
Oh,
So
but we're not gonna zoom in. So yeah, I definitely suggest like, you are starting this new place, is asking the front desk people to give you a tour, right? You
yeah,
want to see before you join as well. The other thing I would suggest now that we're talking about this, you want to join a gym that's close to your house or work. Whatever is on the way to either, if you are a person that like, I want to work out after work, you want to make sure it's on the way to the house. Or if you want to work out in the morning, the closer the gym is, the more likely you're going to go to it,
and stay
even if it's
consistent.
not the best gym. Yeah. So I feel like a lot of times people are like, oh, I don't want to go to that gym, right? But it's like, if that's your closest gym, you're going to go if it's like 10 minutes, 5 minutes away compared to one that's like 20, 30 minutes.
Great point.
Yes.
Great point. Because we have a gym very close to us. It makes all the difference. It's going to be very hard to find a better place to live, to be quite honest, because it's so close.
Yeah.
And it's just so easy for us to go. I mean, I used to drive like 20 minutes to the gym.
Wow, that's crazy.
Well, like it's like if you have a membership at 24-hour fitness, you can go to any of them. So like sometimes I would go to like different ones, kind of change the feel. But
That's a little extreme.
It's a little extreme, but it's really hard to get there.
Yeah.
It's much harder. Like I'm getting into my car, I gotta drive 15
I think
minutes.
that's the reason I liked home workouts. I didn't have to like get anywhere. I just had to start. And that's why I really liked it. Like I didn't have to like the hardest part was the same thing as like I say, getting to the gym.
Yeah.
The thing about the home workouts is
Starting.
just willing to get up, and just start the workout. That was the hardest part, but I didn't have to go somewhere.
Right.
I'm not a big driver.
Right.
I don't like driving anywhere.
So it depends. It depends, right? I think home workouts work really well. I think when you're working from home, because I worked from home, especially during COVID, it was really hard for me to work out at home, because the last thing I wanted to do was be at home. I wanted to go somewhere.
Yeah.
So I think it really depends on the situation of whoever it is, right? If you're a person who works from home and you're a homebody and you like being from home, okay, working out at home is probably your best option. But I
But
guess maybe we should do the transition, right? Which is, what would you recommend someone who's trying to build muscle?
yeah, so if you just want to have a healthy lifestyle, right? And you just want to be active, and which is a great goal. Home workouts are amazing. You could get good at doing certain things. But if you are someone who, looks at maybe like a fitness girl or something, you're like, man, I want to have like defined arms like her. I want to have defined legs like her. You really have to ask yourself, what is that person doing? Is that person really doing home workouts? Most likely they're not. They are going to a gym. So if you really want to build muscle, you're really missing out by not going to the gym.
And I think that's where the limitation comes in, right? Whereas it's the lack of equipment, it's the lack of
Of
having
weight.
heavier weights, right? Because it is a big investment. If you really are looking at gym equipment at home, you are talking about a big investment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like you can't expect for your body to change by doing the same thing. And what I mean by that, because I used to hear that and I used to think like that meant like you had to switch your training program all the time. So it's like, oh, every 6 weeks you have to try a new training program, which was something I did because like that's one thing you hear. And funny enough, the book that I'm reading right now, that we're talking about that. But what they mean by that is you can't expect your body to change if every week, every workout, you're using the same 10 pounds and you're doing the same reps, right? So you can always challenge your muscle by increasing reps or increasing weight, but eventually, like if you're using 10 pounds, yeah, you could continue increasing reps, but it's going to take you longer,
Right.
right? So like at one point, in order to fatigue your muscles, you might have to do 30 shoulder presses, right? When you could have gone to a gym and maybe do like 15-pound dumbbells or 20-pound dumbbells and do anywhere between 12 to 15, and you're still challenging your muscles. So that's definitely like the difference, right? From like home workouts to gym workouts.
Yeah, you can also be talking about different type of equipment also in movement, right? So
Yeah.
in some cases you're doing inclines, some cases you're doing declines, sometimes cases you're doing a bench, some cases you're doing a Smith machine, that's a completely different movement. Sometimes you're doing kettlebells, right? So that I think the gym offers a lot more different machines, a lot more different equipment so that you can kind of target different type of muscles as opposed to home workouts.
Yes. So like, I had mentioned like I started working out when I was 15, and I did like Taibo, I did like VHS workouts.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and those were very like home workouts, more cardio based. And then from there I moved into weight training, and that was with dumbbells only. And then from dumbbells I moved into like trying a squat rack, right? And I was like, oh, this is so cool. Like it feels so cool to get stronger. At that point, I was like fed up with trying to mold my body a certain way. So I was like trying to refocus on something else. And I was like, well, I want to get strong. That seems really cool. And I was still limited because I could only do so much.
Yeah.
And I feel like now that I've been at the gym for a year and a half now, this is the most I ever been able to change my body. Um, and that's all because I joined a gym. And I don't want to say like I'm pushing a hard weight. I feel like before I was probably going heavier when I had my home equipment compared to now, but I am a lot more focused now on my form. I'm focused on making sure I'm engaging the right muscles, not just trying to lift as heavy as I can. But it's really cool because yeah, this is the most I've seen of a change in my body.
As opposed to before.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I feel like another tip I kind of missed out on from the gym is, I talked about wearing a hat and having your headphones on. I also feel like you know, when you first start, you're more likely going to want to cover up with what you wear
Oh,
at the gym, and that's completely fine. But I know from my experience, because the first times that I started going by myself, that was wearing a big t-shirt, I just felt so frumpy. Like I just felt I didn't feel good about myself when I was going, right?
so your clothes were too big, I'm guessing.
Yeah, my clothes
Yeah.
were like really big because I was trying to hide, right? And I would just wear like big t-shirts because you're just like, I don't want anybody to look at me. And I realized like I just wasn't feeling good. Like if that makes you feel good wearing something baggy, then by all means do it. But I do feel like, you know, I used to watch YouTube videos and I was like, why do these girls like get like
So dolled
so
up.
yeah, some of them go a little bit too extreme, but I didn't understand it because like the way I used to work out before was very cardio based. And I was like, you just sweat, you have all this sweat on you, and imagine having makeup and all these things. But strength training is a little different. You're not jumping around, sweating all the time. Obviously, you do sweat a little bit, but I realized that if you feel good about yourself getting there, like the way you look, you just have a better workout. And it has nothing to do with trying to look good for anyone. It's just for yourself.
Mm.
And I noticed like that big difference, because I think when we all start, we kind of like don't don't want anybody to look at us, and we do it a different way. Like we try to cover up, we go off from B, and it doesn't make us feel good.
I think it depends because I am kind of the opinion that even so for me, if I and of course I'm a guy, right? But you know, it's kind of a motivator for me. If I don't look good in the mirror, it's actually a good thing for me. And so I try to get as comfortable as possible looking at myself in the mirror and going, I don't like the way that I look, but being comfortable around people looking that way potentially gets me comfortable to then go to the gym and then be consistent and start going over and over and over and going to the gym. So
Mm.
it's kind of a weird thing. It's kind of like, you know, it shouldn't be something that stops you from going, right?
Yeah, no, I'm
So you
not
have to be
saying
careful, right? Because I feel like some people were like, I don't feel comfortable because I don't like the way that I look at
no,
gym.
no,
Yeah.
but I think you're understanding it the wrong way.
Oh, no, no, I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying, you know, some people will misconstrue that and say, oh, well, I don't feel comfortable because I don't look comfortable in the gym.
Oh,
So,
no, I guess I didn't think about it that way. I mean, I didn't like how I looked when I first started going to the gym. So what I did is like I wanted to cover up
right.
because I didn't want to look at myself. So I would wear big t-shirts. And I realized that I just didn't like it. Um, it wasn't giving me the right energy that I
Energy to
wanted
be
to
able to
give
go
to
do it.
the workout. Obviously, it progressed from there. Like now, the way I dress to the gym is just way
Way
different
different. Yeah.
from when I first started. But that was something that took a little while. So I think one of the things that we should probably talk about is, when do you start to feel comfortable at the gym? Oh, when does that happen? You've been working out for a while at the gym, so can
Yes.
you talk about what did you ever feel
So
uncomfortable?
I started going to the gym when I was 12. And
Wow.
keep in mind, my brother needed a gym buddy, and I was always out of shape, but it didn't matter because he was like, great, Julio, we're going to the gym. So since I was 12 all the way up to 18, even though I didn't want to go, my
You went.
brother was very persistent, right?
Mhm.
Like, no, you need to go with me. It's like sometimes it's like 10:30 at night. You need to go with me. I'm like, all right, whatever. I don't have any
But you always had
self-conscious.
a gym buddy.
But I had a gym buddy, and you know, that's how I built that's why I'm so comfortable at the gym. It doesn't even matter because I've been doing it since I was little. How long does it take? You know, it's a great question because even though there's been times that I've gone back and I've been uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I have to say this last time we went by, I was uncomfortable because we are in a much more advanced gym than I'm used to.
Yeah. You
These
definitely put me in the gym where
these
like people are really
they're
fit.
like bodybuilders, they're competing. And look, I mean, if you look at me compared to them, it's like this guy has no, I don't know what this chubby guy is doing in the middle of this gym, right? But I was a
There's also different people at the gym.
yeah,
There's
yeah, yeah.
bodybuilders,
There's a
there's
little
starters, there's people who, they're not in great shape yet, right?
there's a little bit more.
So
Yeah.
you do see that, but I think a lot of times when you just join, what do you see? Whoa, everybody's so muscular
Yeah.
because that's where your attention goes.
Yeah, but I think for me, it's the reason why I'm so comfortable is, hey, if I'm not here, I'm not going to be able to get there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So I could care less what. That's why I don't care really what people think, because I don't care what you guys think. I'm here for me.
yeah,
I'm here to get myself better. I'm here to improve myself. I don't really care what you guys think, right? And so that's how I get comfortable. I mean, the earphones is always a good way to get comfortable. And then uh, I do suggest looking at yourself in the mirror,
hmm,
especially when you're doing workouts, because the better you look during your workouts, the more confident I feel like you become in the gym. Because you're like, oh, I know what I'm doing. Look at me. I look pretty good when I'm doing that. When I'm doing that way.
yeah. And something about the gym mirrors, like it's like something about them.
They
I'm
have a
just like,
filter. They have a
yeah,
filter.
yeah. Like
Ooh.
I always see my muscle, and I'm like, I'll try to take a picture, and I'm like, wait, how come the picture doesn't look the same as the mirror? I think I asked you a few times, right? I was like,
Yeah.
take the picture on the mirror.
I think it's the lighting too. There's a
Yeah, it's
lot of
so
light.
good. So I guess I could talk about like how, like, if I'm really comfortable at the gym, and I think I still have my moments where I struggle with the gym.
You still
Um,
do. So there are times where she puts something on and then she goes, "Is this too much? Should I cover up a little bit more? I don't really know." And I'm like, "You look fine. You
yeah,
look
I
fine,
mean,
babe. I don't
I see a
understand."
lot of girls like, they look really cute with their sports bra. And like the other thing is like, and this could be a different topic. After I did the photo shoot, I got very lean.
Yeah,
And
you
right
did.
now I gained like a little bit of weight. Like I would say it's not that much, like
No.
maybe like 5 pounds. But when you've been super lean and you gain like 5 pounds, like you feel like it's 10 pounds.
Mm.
And that is something that we can talk about later on because it's something really weird that I experienced. And I think for me, I know I'm gonna be in this phase, in this body now for a good little while because I'm trying to build some muscle. And I'm like, I need to get comfortable with my body looking this way. Like, I'm not gonna have abs now, like I did at the photo shoot, and that was super cool, right? But now it's like I want to build more muscle, so I'm eating a little bit more, which I don't look as lean, but I think in order for me to get comfortable with this body that I have now, I have to treat it like how I was treating it when I got super lean for the photo shoot. When I got super lean for the photo shoot, I just wanted to like not cover up because I was like, wow, I have all these cool lines that I'm seeing, right? So now I'm like, I have to take that same approach because it's still the same body. It's still really amazing body. But like, yeah, I do have times where I'm like, I wonder if like I'm a little bit too uncovered, or I go through a different uncomfortableness, I guess you could say. I don't know how you would say that because for you, you mentioned like you felt like out of shape. And
Mm.
what is this out of shape person doing here? For me, it's more like there's like all these girls who look like they have a lot of muscle, and I'm like, "Ah, what is this skinny girl doing here, right? She doesn't have enough muscle and she's like showing off and she's trying to have, but like you said, I'm there because I'm also there for a purpose. I'm trying to now build muscle, or I'm trying to become better. And one thing that when we went to Las Vegas and I talked to my coach, I was actually telling her this. I told her how I felt so tiny at my gym. Like I was like, when you're alone and you don't see people who have a lot of muscle, like you think like, oh crap, I'm so muscular, right? But then when I also went to train with her and I went to go train at the glute camp that they have, there's all these girls who have so much muscle. And I was telling her, I'm like, I just feel so tiny. Like I never been used to feeling tiny because I never been around people that have so much muscle.
Yeah.
And the best thing that she said, the best thing about fitness is there's always room to improve. you can always continue to get better at it. You're never gonna have like a stop. And that was like the moment I was like, that is so true. I can continue to improve, right? And like I still have my moments where I'm uncomfortable, not because of what I wear. Some days I'm just like, man, like there's a little bit more guys and girls here, or I don't want anybody to look at me, or is that time of the month where you're just like, I don't want to be bothered, right? But I just have to remember, like, it's fine. Nobody's looking at me. I'm here for a reason, and I deserve to be here as much as everybody else deserves to be here. Like, I'm not here like telling that person, like, "Ah, why are they here?" Right? Like, I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, cool. Like, it's so cool to see people doing it.
And yeah, it's all about improving yourself. And
Yeah.
so um I think just to go back to the beginning, just start. Just do something, right? Just try to get there, start. Don't
Yeah.
worry about all the little details. Don't worry about your, I would say misconceptions. A lot of times we have
And
misconceptions. Just start.
I think the other thing would be, I recently heard something that said, turn that like a lot of times it's like you're nervous about something,
Uh-huh.
right? You're nervous about it. Turn it into excitement. Like, how exciting, right? Like something new. Like you're gonna go to
New
the gym,
experience.
try a new experience.
Yeah.
You're gonna learn something new about yourself. You're gonna find out, can you push yourself to doing these things? And I thought that was really cool because I know this is just going a little bit off topic, but I've actually in 2018 or so, I signed up to like a handstand. I think it was 2018. I signed up to a handstand.
Was it a class or what
Yeah, it
was
was
it?
like a
It was a
class.
class.
I was like fascinated to doing handstands. I'm like, I'm gonna do a handstand. And I remember there was this girl I was following on Instagram, and she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do a, what do they call that? Host a class, I guess. I forget what they call it. A workshop."
A workshop. There you go.
So she was gonna do a handstand workshop. And I was like, oh crap, I've never done anything like this. And I signed up, I paid, so I had to go. And I swear, like I had to drive. So, I lived in the valley in LA. So I had to drive from the valley all the way to like Silver Lake, which is like around um like Echo
Yeah,
Park,
Echo
around
Park.
that
Yeah,
area.
almost downtown LA.
Yeah, which is LA,
Yeah.
right? And I was like, oh my God, I don't know. I don't know if I should. I don't know if I shouldn't. But I still went because I paid. And I was like, I have to go. And I went, I was super nervous, I was sweating, and I seriously made a fool of myself because I really couldn't do anything. I couldn't like even like pick my leg up to the wall because surprisingly I'm so scared. I'm like scared of
Oh,
falling,
oh,
right?
yeah.
And the
We're
girl, the
totally.
girl was shorter than I was, but she had some muscle, but she was shorter and she was like, she just flipped me over, and I was like, wow, that was so simple. And when I finished that class, I felt so good that I was just like, wow, this is like really cool. I was still uncomfortable, believe me. Like I was super uncomfortable. Like I was like, I can't believe I did that. But it was like the best feeling ever. And the same thing happened when we went to Vegas and I went to that class, the boot camp. And there was a bikini posing seminar, and my coach was like, hey, why don't you come and learn, right? And I went, and I remember like I was just like shaking, like I was just shaking, I was so nervous. But there's like this weird adrenaline that happens when you finish it and you're like, oh cool, I did it.
Yeah,
And it feels so good.
it's like a new experience.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, and I know now, I wish I would have known a little bit younger, but to take advantage of those experiences because we didn't even plan on staying there. We booked an extra night because I said, hey, this is a new experience. We're already here. We might as
Yeah.
well take advantage of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and the gym is basically the same thing. It's like if you haven't gone, it's a new experience. Take the positive route, not the negative route. We have all these negative feelings. Just be positive about it and just see how it goes. Because
Yeah.
there's a lot of people who say that swear that before they go, they swear they never become gym people and they become gym people.
Yeah,
because they
so
like it so
I always say like give it a chance.
Give it
Like
a
that book, you said you're reading a book that
yeah,
says
it's one more time.
one more time. So if the first date didn't go good, try
Try it
again. If the second day didn't go as planned, go again. You have to keep going. And then eventually the uncomfortableness becomes a little bit more comfortable. Doesn't mean that it completely goes away. I feel like that's like the worst idea, that we think that it's gonna completely go away. But you're gonna feel less uncomfortable if you keep doing it.
Yeah, exactly. As you continue to go. And that's the thing about health and fitness. It's like you literally have to do the same thing over and over and over and over again, especially to build muscle.
Consistency.
Yeah, to lose weight. I mean, it doesn't matter what you're doing. I mean, same thing with sports. It's like you want to lose a bunch of weight in sports, you're doing it constantly, right?
Yeah.
If you're a runner, you're running constantly. You're a cycler, you're cycling constantly. It's just like you have to be consistent. You have to keep going. So we definitely recommend doing it. I think it's a great experience for those of you who are on the fence. Do it. Just do it. It's just it's a great thing. So I think this is where we're gonna end it.
Yeah.
How'd
Yeah.
you like
Just
it?
go to the gym. Just go to a gym. You should show people your guns.
No, I don't have very many guns.
I'll show you guys my guns. Oh wait, I need better lighting.
But
I need
anyways,
the gym mirrors.
anyways, subscribe, like, comment, let us know what you guys think, and how can people find you?
Oh, yeah, you could go on my Instagram, a cup of fitness _.
At a cup of fitness _.
Yes. And here on YouTube.
Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully we see you guys next time.
Bye.